Thank you so much, Mr. Amitabh Kant, for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, he's been the G20 Sherpa, plays a very, very important role as far as G20 is concerned. And today's theme, sir, is about reforming G20 and leading the global south. After last year's experience where India was leading the G20, how has the experience been this year in Brazil? And there was, of course, the Delhi Declaration. How has the last year been in terms of setting the goals for other countries and other members of the G20?
First of all, let me say that India's G20 was very unprecedented and historic. It was historic because India made it from G20 to G21 by including African Union as a member. Secondly, our declaration was very ambitious, very progressive, very forward-looking, and it was widely appreciated by all the leaders of G20. And thirdly, we did it very differently from any other country by taking it all over to every state and union territory of India and making it a mass movement. The Brazilian presidency has just got over, and I would say that as a member of the Troika, India assisted and supported them. Frankly speaking, I would say that it lacked ambition. Their only ambition was to have an alliance on hunger and poverty, which they managed to achieve, and India supported them in that. But I think there could have been much greater ambition towards climate, towards energy transition, towards growth, strong sustainable growth, which is very critical. These are critical because global growth is at its lowest right now, at about 3%, lowest since the turn of the century. And while the developed world is growing at 1.8%, the global south, lower and middle income countries are growing at 4.4%. And this is going to be the story for the next 3 decades, according to IMF and World Bank, that emerging markets will grow at a much faster pace because of young demographics. The population in India, Asia, Africa will be very young, whereas the population across Europe and America will be aging. And therefore, these countries will grow at a much, much higher pace. And that is very critical. And the second point, which is very important, is the global debt. The global debt is very, very high. If you look at the global south, there are 15 countries which spend more on debt than on education. There are 44 countries which spend more on debt, on their interest payment on debt. The interest payment is higher than what they spend on health. And therefore, there is a need for greater debt transparency, and there's a need for debt restructuring of the global south.
Right.
And those are issues which should be brought center stage,
right,
which we hope to do in South Africa now.